at this time. My name is Esther Chima. Now the news in detail. A pressure group within the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, the Abia Pensioners Forum, has appealed to Abia State Governor Alex Oti to revisit his memorandum of agreement with pensioners regarding the payment of their gratuity and pension arrears. Addressing the press in Umuahia on Wednesday, the coordinator of the group, Barrister Oke Kano, clarified that the group is neither political nor affiliated with any party. He stressed that they do not intend to confront the state government, but rather seek clarity on the purported clearance of pension and gratuity arrears. The group noted that state NUP officials have created an information gap, failing to actively pursue solutions. They reminded the governor of his campaign promise to clear the arrears of pension and gratuity by 31st December 2023. However, the pensioners pointed out that the MOA signed by the state government and the NUP stipulated that only part of the arrears would be paid, with the balance forfeited by the pensioners. Federal Medical Center FMC Umuahia Abia State has declared a 400% increment in its monthly electricity bill by the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company in April 2024, after the company classified the hospital under Band A. Medical Director of the hospital, Professor Azubike Onyebuchi, said the Federal Health Institution's electricity bill was suddenly jacked up from 10 million naira to 42 million naira monthly average. Onyebuchi said that if the 400% increment in electricity bill is added to about 22 million naira on diesel and maintenance of generators, the cost of procuring power to run the hospital amounts to about 70 million naira monthly. He described power as an indispensable basic necessity to run the hospital, which dispenses various healthcare services, including surgeries, pre- and postnatal services, laboratory, and intensive patient care, among others. He wondered why the electricity bill suddenly went up by almost 400% without notice, lamenting that this has impacted the running cost of the 547-bed hospital. The Abia State government has said the electricity market in the state is on track as the state is poised to utilize the availability of renewable energy sources in the state to provide access to electricity for all. The Commissioner for Power and Public Utilities, Ikechukwu Mande, stated this at the Off-Grid Energy Stakeholders Workshop on Abia State Off-Grid Regulations Framework, organized in Umuahia, the capital, on Wednesday. He explained that the stakeholders' engagement, which involves personnel from ministries, departments, and agencies in the state, was aimed at making energy available at an international standard. Monday enjoined the participants to be greatly engaged in the workshop and understand what the initiative is, as well as how it would affect Abia State to contribute effectively to the policy framework. Federal government has commenced the implementation of the National Values Charter to foster moral, ethical, and cultural reawakening among Nigerians. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris disclosed it in Abuja while declaring open the expanded retreat of the National Orientation Agency. He said the National Values Charter, one of the flagship initiatives of his ministry through the NOA, is designed to instill the right values, attitudes, and perspectives in the hearts and minds of all Nigerians. The minister said the values have been carefully crafted and designed to ensure that all Nigerians are fully aware of the rights and protections under the Constitution and the laws of the land. Contrary to its earlier position that the Department of State Security Services never extended an invitation to the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, before its men swooped on him at the airport last week, NLC said the agency only proposed a courtesy visit. The Labour movement said that Ajaero had a discussion with the Director General DSS on a courtesy visit. A statement signed by the Head of Information and Public Affairs, Comrade Benson Upa, said that the DSS sought a date for the courtesy visit, but was told that Ajaero would not be available until Friday, that is September 13th. According to NLC, the DG DSS last spoke with Comrade Ajaero on Saturday night during which Ajero told him he would be traveling the next day, that is Sunday, adding that the courtesy visit would be paid after his return on Friday, September 13th. Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says there is a decline in disease outbreaks across the country, with a significant reduction in reported yellow fever, diphtheria, and cholera cases. However, the Director General of NCDC, Jide Idris, warned of an imminent surge in cases of Lassa fever during a media briefing in Abuja. Mr. Idris said although Nigeria has experienced a decline in cases of various diseases, the country is approaching the Lassa fever season, which typically occurs annually. Edo State Governor and leader of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, says the PDP may not sign the peace accord today on the grounds that the agency, the police, responsible for enforcing the accord have through their actions shown that they are acting in the interest of the All Progressives Congress (APC) and waging war against the PDP. Obaseki spoke when he received the chairman of the National Peace Committee and former military head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, who was on a courtesy visit to the government house in Benin City, the Edo state capital, ahead of the signing of the peace accord. During his interaction with Abubakar in Benin City, the governor expressed worry that the police, under the manipulation of the APC, has arrested not less than 10 PDP chieftains who they perceived would be strong political opposition to them in the coming election. Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun says 35,000 men of the Nigerian police force had been deployed to Edo for the September 21st governorship election. He said this at a stakeholders meeting organized by the Independent Electoral Commission in Benin City ahead of the governorship election. Egbetokun also said that 8,000 personnel from other security agencies had also been deployed. He warned that no private or state-owned security apparatus would be allowed to operate during or after the election. The Edo governorship election is scheduled on September 21. Vice President Kashim Shettima is reiterating the commitment of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to partnering with the 36 states of the Federation to address the challenges of flood and other natural disasters in Nigeria. This, he said, is the reason why the president recently approved a sum of 3 billion naira for each state of the Federation to tackle natural disasters such as flooding, as well as other challenges, noting that it is to give the sub-national governments a sense of belonging. Senator Shettima stated this when he received Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, who paid him a commiseration visit at the presidential villa over the ravaging flood that submerged major cities, houses and shops in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, following the collapse of a dam in the state. Still from Borno State Governor Babangana Zulum says a total of 1 million people were affected by the flood which ravaged the state. The governor disclosed this to newsmen while distributing cash and cooked food to displaced persons taking refuge in Bakasi Camp, Maiduguri. Responding to a question on the cause of the flood, the governor said the situation was compounded by climate change that caused heavy downpour being experienced this season. He said the flood overwhelmed Alu Dam, which overflowed into the city, and the water volume released from other dams in Cameroon. Thousands of families trapped in Maiduguri flooded areas are being evacuated to safer areas by the military, volunteers and other security agencies. Visiting the most affected areas in Maiduguri, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, toured through the customs area where the broken prison is located. While on the tour, dead bodies were also being evacuated. Trapped persons were also being evacuated by the military, security agencies and civilian volunteers. The premises of the Nigerian prisons is still being flooded, while public infrastructure, amenities, shops and vehicles are completely submerged by the flood. You're still watching Enyimba TV News. After the short break, the news continues with the lead story for the day, in addition to business and sports updates. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying tuned. Now the lead story. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has granted 10 million bail on each to the 10 members of the End Bad Governance protesters who were charged with attempt to overthrow President Bola Tinubu between August 1 and 4th this year. While delivering ruling in their bail applications, Justice Emeka Wite said the protesters must produce sureties who must be property owners in Abuja and must deposit documents of the properties to the court, in addition to swearing to affidavit of means. The court equally ordered the defendants to produce one surety each who are based in Abuja and must be willing to deposit their international passports and 3 recent passport photographs with the court. Justice Wite, while rejecting the objections of the Inspector General of Police against the bail applications, however, ordered the defendants not to participate in any public rally throughout their trial. And now from the business scene. Nigeria's crude oil production increased from 1.307 million barrels per day in July to 1.352 mega barrels in August. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries stated this. In its September monthly oil market report, OPEC said the average daily crude production rose marginally to add 45,000 barrels based on information obtained through direct communication with the Nigerian government. The report is contrary to claims by the federal government that the daily crude production was nearing 1.6 barrels. President Tinubu, during his August 4 nationwide broadcast, boosted that oil production increased to 1.6 barrels in July. He attributed the rise to the reforms he announced in May to address the Petroleum Industry Act. However, OPEC said in its report that output for July was 1.30 mega barrels for July, and information was as received from the OPEC member country, Nigeria. And now sports. Nigeria defeated Egypt 66-51 to reach FIBA Under-18 Women's Afro-Basketball Championship semi-finals in Pretoria, South Africa. The win means this is the first time the Nigeria team would reach the semi-final in 14 years. When both teams met in the group stage, Egypt triumphed over the Nigerian team, winning by 72-60. Egypt are 2-time champions of the Under-18 Championship and last edition's silver medalist. The Nigeria Under-18 women's team has never won the tournament and has only finished as runner-up once. Mali are the most successful team with 8 titles, while Egypt, Senegal, and the Republic of Congo each has 2 titles. The FIBA Under-18 Afro-Basket also serves as qualification to the FIBA Under-19 Women's World Cup. And with our sports story, we wrap up this edition of the news at this time. But before we go, here is a quick recap of the top stories. Pensioners Forum demand review of forfeiture agreement with Abia government over gratuities and pension arrears. Federal government approves 3 billion naira each for states to tackle natural disasters. Court grants 10 million naira bail each to 10 protesters accused of intimidating President Tinubu. Now that's our package of the news for now. Please join us for more updates in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Click on the notification bell to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Esther Chima. Thanking you so much for watching.